My name is Bruce and I'm a team member here at Vocabulate. In the last video, we looked at how teachers can add depth to a reading passage through memos. In this video, we'll look at a new way to consolidate what students learn through something we call flashbacks. Now, you're probably already familiar with how reading passages work on Vocabulate. As your class read through a passage, they'll click on words, which they might not recognize or aren't sure what its meaning is. Vocabulate tracks these interactions for students, so students can revisit them later if they feel the need. If I hop over here to the teacher's view, you'll see your class interaction activity is also shown here. The more your students click on a word, the darker it is shaded. You can hover over the word to see in detail which student clicked this word, so you can quickly get in pace with how your students are doing. Here at Vocabulate, we look at a student's understanding of a word in 3 levels. The first level is weak control, where the student might only recognize the word but not what it means. The second level is passive control, where the student knows what the word means and how it relates to the context. The third level is active control. Active control is where students can identify the word as resembling an idea or a situation, and most importantly, use it in speech or writing. So how can we take a word, any English word, and help the student to go from weak control to active control? Here is where flashback comes in. To show you how it works, I'm gonna hop over to the student's view. And let's just pretend that we're a student who's really not very good in English. So I'm gonna look up a bunch of words by just clicking on it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Can confirm, as I hopped over to the history tab in this reading passage, this student has indeed looked up a lot of words in class. So how can we help the student to go from weak control to passive control and eventually to active control with all these words that seem so difficult to him or her? To do that, let's hop over to flashbacks. You can see that this flashback was curated exclusively for the student by our algorithm. Let's click into it. Did you recognize this word? Flashbacks are a series of simple tasks that elicits different language abilities from the student. Every task, and we mean every task, comes from words that this student looked up previously. If you're still a bit skeptical, you can roll back to the page that we showed you just now and confirm that this student has indeed clicked on outbreak just now. Let's take this task as an example. In this task, students are presented with 3 images, and they have to match the corresponding sentences to the right image. Let's try and do that now. That's it. We passed. We don't encourage rote memorization here at Vocabulate, so every task exposes the student to how this word is used in context. As you just see, we added in images along with translation, which we'll see in just a second, to imprint a memory of what this word conveys and how it relates to a context. In this task, for example, students match the word into the correct blank. As I told you before, you can confirm that all full words are indeed curated from words that we just clicked in the reading passage. Let's move on to the next task. With flashbacks to use positive reinforcement so the learning effect retains for longer and stronger. Let's take this task for example. In this task, the student put all 3 sentences into the images, but it didn't light up. When students get everything right, the task lights up in green immediately to let the student know that his answer is correct. If, in this case for example, it didn't light up, it means maybe there's something isn't going in the right place. This encourages the student to use trial and error to find the correct answer. That's it. When we designed Flashback, we know how much students love just clicking on a word in reading passages to know its meaning. So we made sure that we also bring that function into Flashback. Every word in a sentence can be looked up with just a click. We believe constant repetition carries conviction. We designed Flashback so more challenging words are repeated more times across different types of tasks. Let's try the rest of the tasks together. That's it, and the student has just completed a flashback. Flashbacks is a much better way to not just expand your students' vocabulary, but to reinforce it and empower them to use it in writing or speaking. That's all for Flashbacks. In the next video, we'll look at how Vocabulate's simple class management makes your life much easier. If you're interested in adding Vocabulate to your school, we offer free trials to any school in Hong Kong. Simply send us a request through our blog and our reps will be in touch. See you in the next one.